Hey everyone, I'm glad you clicked on the video here. Today I'm going to go over the 20 steps to starting a band. If you're watching this, I can only assume either you've always wanted to start a band but you don't quite know how to do it, or you're in a band but things aren't really going the way you want them to. So you're just looking for some tips on kind of how to rebrand or start over, so to speak, with your current following. Before I dive in, just a little background on myself so you're not going, who the hell is this kid? My name's Christian Gray, I'm 22 years old, and I play in a band called Villain of the Story on Stay Sick Recordings. But it wasn't that long ago that I was just a 16-year-old kid in high school that dreamed of being in a band. But at the time I lived in a small town, so finding people to play with wasn't that easy. I had no connections, I had no following online. I was stuck. I didn't really know what to do. But, fast forward to 2017, my current band, we signed a record deal, we released our first full-length album, and we went on tour with the band to where we got to play to sold-out crowds every night, and we even got to play in Canada. So that was awesome. But there were definitely things that I've learned along my journey that I wish I had the knowledge at the time of starting this band. So today I'm going to share some things that I've learned from my own experiences and things that I've learned from fellow musicians in the industry that I've had the pleasure of connecting with. I don't claim that anything in this template will guarantee you success or anything like that. It's really going to come down to how much work you put into it. But I just know, like I said, if I would have had this when we first started, it would have made a hell of a difference. So let's jump right in. This is going to take like 40 minutes to an hour to go through, so if now isn't the best time, bookmark the page or save the link somewhere, because I definitely feel like this is going to be valuable to you. So step one is going to be know what you're getting into. Now, because there are so many people that want to start a band because it sounds fun, it's awesome, but before you even start thinking that, like, you have to realize that being in a band, it is a business. So it's about the music, but if it's not taken seriously, if it's not funded properly, and it's not marketed well, odds of getting success is really slim. So you got to know what you're getting into. Like, you're gonna have to put everything you can into this band. You're gonna have to put a lot of money into the band, a lot of time, and a lot of energy into it. If you're just starting out, learn your instrument. Make sure you know how to play your instrument, whether it be drums, guitar, bass, keyboard, vocals, whatever. Make sure you know what you're doing first. That's before you even start asking people to join a band or anything. Like, you got to make sure that your ground is covered. So, with that said, we'll move into step two, which is write 2 demos. Now, that might sound a little weird, like, oh, we got to get the members first and everything like that. Now, if you have the opportunity to just ask people that you know, friends or something, or acquaintances that can play music, that's good. The majority of this template, I'm going to go with the person who really has no knowledge on anything, and this is just a way to get musicians to play in your band. By writing 2 songs, you'll be able to pitch that to them, and then that'll get them to be interested. Because if you just go up to somebody and say, hey, let's start a hardcore band, it's like, okay, well, what type of hardcore? Like, what's it going to sound like? Is the music good or not? Like, I want to hear something first. So if you come to people in your local scene with music and they dig it, then you pretty much landed a new member. But what you're going to want to do is find at least one other person to start the band with. If an objection right now might be, well, what if I don't know how to write music, or I don't know how to record music? Again, it's going to kind of go back to know what you're getting into, because you're going to need to know how to write a song. So, take the time to learn, practice, and write as much as you can, get criticism, and learn everything you can to write a song. And when you write a song, and you like it, then you know you're on the right path. But you're definitely going to want to get studio gear. You don't need to get anything fancy because you're going to be paying and going to a producer to do that. Unless you want to do it yourself, you can go all out. But you know, for the purposes of this video, you know, you're just going to want to get like, you know, a computer that can run software, studio software, an interface, some speakers, and maybe like a drum program so that you can actually map out your drums and you don't have to track live drums. But basically, when you get your recording software and everything like that ready to go, you have one other person to write with, or if you can't find anyone, it's going to rely on you, because if you want to do this, you're going to be the one that's putting in the work for it. So you're going to write 2 demos. It doesn't need to be too flashy. It doesn't need to be 100% done. Just a song, a full song, not just 40 seconds or a minute and a half, unless that is the song. But you want the full song, and you want to finish it as much as you can. But yeah, you're gonna want to write 2 songs, because you don't want to put too much effort into it, and money for that matter, if it ends up being something that just people don't really vibe with or anything, because you know. So spend the money, write 2 demos. But what you're gonna want to do is, when you get those demos done, you're gonna go to step 3. You're going to want to record those demos with a producer. Now, I would suggest going to like a name producer, maybe not like Joey Sturgis or someone at the very top that's like insanely expensive, but if you can, if you have the money, go to a producer that has a good reputation, because they're going to help you a lot and your product's going to be amazing. But if you don't have the most money and traveling out of your state really isn't in the question, then you know, there's so many producers out there. Just look up, find a local producer that doesn't suck, because like I said, know what you're getting into. You want to make sure that your recordings sound good, because there are hundreds, maybe thousands of other bands trying to do the exact same thing that you are, and if your recording quality, your video quality is kind of garbage, then it doesn't matter how good the song is. Like it all comes together as a package. So get with a good producer, you know, and kind of let them know beforehand, like, hey, we're just starting, you know, we're just gonna come record, but you know, if there's anything you can help us with, like, we'll pay you for that. Like, if you know, have them co-write. You know, that kind of goes back to step 2. Like, if you really just want to start going, but you don't quite know how to write a song, reach out to co-writers. Like, find people other musicians that'll take the time to help you write. I know I do that with bands. I've helped write songs with bands before. So I guess at any point in this, if there's any questions or you want to go one-on-one and ask me something, there is a contact form below. Just fill it out, send me an email, and I'll get back to you. But yeah, so you're going to want to go and record the demos with a producer, because when you're with a producer, you're going to be able to finalize everything. Like, you're going to be able to add things, take away some things, flip things around, rewrite parts, and just, you know, kind of get it sounding more badass and more, you know, finished sounding. So when you have those 2 demos, that's where you go to step 4. Gather a lineup off the demos. You know, you don't want to just give people your songs, so what I would recommend is taking like 45 seconds or 30 seconds or something of each song, and merging it together to make like a 1.5 minute kind of like preview clip. Now, one thing I do want to mention that I forgot to say, like, you're not paying the producer to mix and master those quite yet, because you don't have a full band. So for all you know, you're going to get these members and they're absolutely going to hate one part of the song. So you don't want to mix and master them yet. You just want to track and record them, and then gather a lineup off of that, so then you can all work together on those songs to finalize it and then mix it. But how do you gather a lineup off the demos? You make that clip, that like I said, but then you start sending it out. Just go on Facebook, and if you know anybody in the local scene and you want a drummer and you know 3 drummers, just message them like, hey man, I'm starting up a project. These are kind of the bands that had influence, and we're gonna, like, they've inspired us to be like. So, check it out. If it's something you're interested in, hit me back. If they don't say anything or it's a no, then it's a no. But otherwise, there's Facebook groups out there. The internet is very powerful. So just think of creative ways to actually go out there and ask people. But just get in touch with the local scene, because I'm sure there's local bands somewhere in the area. But yeah. And on top of that too, like when you send it to them and then you're kind of engaging with them and they're kind of interested but they don't know yet, like, go through and give them kind of your plan. Like, no, we're not just gonna be like some local band. Like, we're actually gonna, like, we have a plan and we're gonna try and get somewhere. And that might be these 20 steps, but like reordered to how you want to run your band. But kind of give them perspective on what your goals are with the band. So then, if they want to take it seriously, they'll take it seriously. Because you don't want to get somebody and then go, oh, I was just doing this for fun. I didn't want to, like, take it that seriously and put money into it. So you want to avoid that. But once you get a lineup off of that, it might not even be a full lineup. Like, for example, my band, we couldn't find another guitar player in the beginning, so we just had the one, and we just kind of went with it. But step 5. Practice. Because when you start getting a lineup, you're going to want to make sure that you guys can play together and you actually can vibe with each other. Make sure there's chemistry there. Like, just pick like 2 or 3 songs that is a mutual band that everyone likes and learn the songs. Set up a practice and play through them, and if you guys are vibing together, that's great. Go out to DQ for $5 lunch and kind of hang out, get familiar with each other if you don't know each other too well. But definitely make sure you practice, because you don't want to get, do all these steps but skip practicing and actually playing with these people, because you don't want to play your first show without practicing. So before you even take promos or do anything like that, just make sure you're with people that you can actually perform with. And if you can, that's where step 6 comes in, which is book studio time. Go back to the same producer. If you're in state, that's great. But you're gonna want to have the other band members go through the, at that point you would have shown them the 2 original songs that you did with the producer. But you're gonna want to let them put input. Like, have everybody put their input into the song and make sure everyone's on the same page. Then book the studio time to go and finish those songs. Like, actually add anything, take away anything, do the final touches, and then that's where you're going to have it mixed and mastered. So once you got those 2 songs that are solid and your producer's going to start mixing it and everything's feeling good, then you're going to go into promos. And promos are very important. Do not half-ass your promos. Definitely find, my camera's sliding here. Promos are important. So find a photographer that is really fucking good at this, and don't short them on money, because they're just like you. They're trying to, probably make a career out of doing photography too. So even if they're your friend, don't ask for deals. Just pay them. Pay them the money for the work that they're doing for you. And that's the same thing for step 8, which is a music video. So once your producer gets you, the first single that you guys agree on, you're gonna want to book a music video shoot. For my band, we went all out. We went with Jeremy Tremp, and our first video cost us $3,500. It was insane for us at the time because we really didn't have money, but we pooled everything together, and it was like a huge risk and a huge investment on our end, but we did it, and we were so happy that we did, because the music video turned out amazing. Jeremy Tremp is great, and because of his name tied to the video, it spread around like crazy because people know who Tremp is and they know his work with other bigger bands. So I'm not saying you have to do that. I would suggest making sure you set aside enough money to do everything, because like I keep saying, know what you're getting into. It's a lot of money to do a band the right way. Just because your friend can shoot a music video for $150, $300, the quality of that is more than likely not going to be as good as if you spend upwards of $1,000 to $3,000 on a music video. I guess I wouldn't really recommend dropping that much on a music video right away, but you know, probably around like the 500 to 1,000 mark would be good. Just make sure the person has experience with doing music videos, because your music video is what people are gonna see, and if it doesn't look that good, then they're not really gonna care about the song. So book promos, book a music video shoot, and then, you know, this whole time, oh, what's the name? What's the name? If you haven't figured out the name yet, this is where you're gonna want to figure out your name. This is where you're going to want to finalize the name and the logo. If you don't have a logo yet, pay somebody to do a logo. Because you're definitely going to want something. It doesn't necessarily need to be like a symbol or something, but if you can do that, that's rad. But definitely your name, it needs to look cool, and you need to have a logo. But yeah, before you move on with anything else at this point, this is where this needs to be taken care of, because then you're going to start like putting your name out there. So if that hasn't gotten taken care of yet, that's step 9. So after that's all taken care of, the 10th step, we're halfway there, you're going to book your first show. Now, like I said, hopefully you've been practicing this whole time. Just going to take a look at my notes here quick. Basically, you're going to have the final mix from your first single, because you're going to use that to shoot the music video with. Then when you get the music video done, that's when you're going to book your first show. After you get like your final music video cut and everything's good to go with that, book your first show. And you're going to want it to be like a month in between. So whether you end up booking the show first and it's like 2 months away or something, it's not announced yet obviously. If it's like 2 months away, a month beforehand, plan on releasing your music video at that time. Or if you plan a release date for your music video, just make sure that you book a show that's relatively like a month after you release it. That way you're going to have enough time to promote it, and people are going to, at least in your local scene, are going to be able to get familiar with the words and, you know, what the band sounds like, so when they see you, they at least know one song. But yeah, you're definitely going to want to have a music video finished before you book a show, because you're going to want to release that first. And at that point, you know, if things are going well at this point and everything's solid, you're going to want to order merch. So with your logo or your name or something, get a good shirt design. You know, like I said, if this is the person that is just starting out and it's like not the most hype is on this, then I would only order like 25 shirts or so. It gets cheaper the more that you buy. Like if you buy 50, the price goes down. If you buy 100, the price goes down per, so you make more money on every sale. But you know, if you're just starting out, 25 shirts I think is like the minimum for at least the places that I've looked into. Just get one shirt. That way, if someone wants to buy something, they're gonna buy it, so you're gonna make your money back. Maybe get stickers or wristbands. You know, that's up to you, I guess, but definitely a shirt. You definitely want one shirt for your first show. And then after that, so like a month before that show, that's when you're going to want to announce everything online and release your first music video. So let's see, can you, yeah, cool. I want to make sure you can still see these. Announce. Okay. So you're gonna announce your social media accounts. Like, don't be teasing and like announce something and then just say like my page, but we don't have any music coming out anytime soon. Like, don't be one of those bands. You know, just keep it on the down low. You can obviously talk about it. Word of mouth is good. Just don't be like posting on the internet a bunch of stuff about it. You can start documenting like your journey, like on your Instagram or something, to start building up your online hype. But just don't like make a band account like Instagram, a band Twitter, a band Facebook page until you're actually ready to announce it. So with that, I do want to go into detail. When you announce it, just post on Facebook at least like 45 second, like a minute, maybe 30. You're gonna want to post like a little clip of your music video on Facebook, because with the YouTube link in the description or caption of it, because people are gonna see that and go, okay, wow, this sounds badass, this looks badass. I want to see the full thing. They're gonna click on the YouTube, and then it's gonna go to the band YouTube channel, and then you're gonna start generating views like that. So when you're first starting out, don't put the whole song on Facebook, because then everyone's just going to watch it on Facebook, and all those views are going to go there, and they're not going to go on your YouTube video. So yeah, and it's optional, but I would highly suggest advertising that post. If you do not hit the boost button. That's just like right under the post. There's something called Facebook Ads Manager, and that's a whole nother topic. That's like marketing and advertising, and that's probably something I'll do at another time. This is just kind of the basic template and outline, but putting like $100 on a very, very targeted post could really start launching your band forward. And also with this, you're going to want to make sure that you have good graphic design content, like images and pictures to post with your posts, because it might be common knowledge, but again, this is for someone that's just starting out and doesn't really know. Usually pictures like show up in the newsfeed algorithm a lot more. They're more engaging, they're easier to interact with. So if you use graphic designs or images with your posts, make sure they look good, because so many bands post just garbage content and it does not look good. So it makes their band, you know, even if the music is good but they just look like crap on the internet, then like they're losing potential fans, because people see that and just go, here's another band that is from the same area that has good content, so I'm gonna check them out. Like that's just how people work. So make sure you have good content like that, and that's something I do as well. So I'm able to do that for my own band. If somebody in the band can do Photoshop and like make all this like the media stuff, that's a good thing to have. Have someone do that, because it's going to save you some money. But otherwise, it's definitely worth the money to pay somebody to create content for you, because you want to stay active. You want to be posting like 4 to 6 times a week. I know people say post every single day, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. That's amazing. But you know, you at least want to be posting like 4 or 5 times, 4 or 5 times a week, not a day. So moving on, you know, this one can bounce around step 12, but it's just make sure that you're writing 3 more songs throughout this entire process with the band. Like the 2 main writers will write it, and the band puts input on that, and then you take that to the producer. But just make sure throughout this whole time frame you are actively trying to write more music, because you want to do an EP. You want like a 5-song EP. If you want to do 6 songs, that's perfectly cool too, but I definitely at least do 5 songs. So make sure you have those 3 more written, and then at that point, can you still see it? Cool. 13, getting low here. Play your first show. Now, this is going to be awesome because, you know, you've been working, sliding again, you've been working on this whole time, and now you have a show. And because you've been releasing things properly and marketing things properly, people are going to be there. You know, most people are going to be there for probably the other bands that have more of a reputation in the area, but you're gonna have some people to play for if you're doing all this properly. And then you're gonna sell some merch. You might make some money, so that's always good. Obviously, that money's gonna go right back into the band. So, you know, it's not like you're actually making money, but that's just how it is until, you know, you make it. But all right. So I think we'll be able to fit one more on screen here for you guys. 14 is book more studio time to record those 3 songs and book another show. Now the reason why you want to do this, like right after you're playing your first show, because you don't want to do that before the first show, because for all you know, you're going to play that first show and someone just is not good. Someone's really not good and messed up really bad. That doesn't mean kick them out, but, you know, just get a feel for how it went, and, you know, if somebody has to go, then somebody has to go. Because then you didn't spend all that time having somebody, like, for all you know, the vocalist could just absolutely suck at the show, or was just a horrible frontman and said some weird stuff, you know, whatever the case may be. You want to wait until after your first show to make sure that things are going smooth. Then you want to book studio time to record those last 3 songs. And at the same time, you want to book another show. And that could be like another month out or so. You don't want to play too soon or too much in the same area. But, you know, for that next show, order another shirt. If you sold out or you're really low from your first show, then just get a whole new shirt, a new design altogether. You know, at this point you might want to order 2, so then you have like 2 more options. But if you haven't grown significantly from the first show, probably just getting 1 other shirt would be good, because if they're returning buyers, the odds of them buying 2 shirts, I don't know. But so definitely get at least 1 more shirt, quantity of 25 or so. And this would be the show where I would say, yeah, get some like stickers or something else that you can have at your merch table. Alright, so I'm gonna get more paper because we are out on this guy. So, then step 15 is record the songs. So, after you played your first show, after you booked the studio time, go in and record those last 3 songs that the whole band has had time to put their input on. And just get that taken care of so you're finishing up your EP. I would do that before you play your next show, because you want to release another song before your next show, which is actually the next step. Either... Yeah. I'll just write it for you. So you want to go record those last 3 songs, and then you want to do a music video or an audio stream. I would definitely recommend doing another music video because music videos just, people watch music videos more than they watch audio streams and stuff like that. So if you don't have the money for a music video, then definitely do an audio stream. There's nothing wrong with an audio stream on the second song. It's just music videos are stronger. So if you can do a music video, do a music video. If you can't or don't really care, I guess, then do an audio stream. But what you're gonna want to do is release that like 2, maybe 3 weeks before your second show, so that there's a little bit of time for people to learn the second song, but it's not like a lot of time like the first time was, because you want most of the attention on your lead single, which is the one that you're going to push the most, which is a music video. So definitely, if you get an audio stream, not a music video, release the audio stream like 2 weeks before your show. So that's where you play show number 2. You're going to play that bad boy, and at that time you're going to have 2 songs out at the same time, so people are going to start getting familiar with your music. Now, we're getting down to the last part here, but basically, this is where you're going to want to start setting up your EP release. And there's a lot that goes into this. Like, you're going to need a show on the same day. So whether you want to plan the show and make that the day you release your EP, or if you want to plan out your EP release first and then book a show for that day, I would do it on a Friday. You could do a Saturday too, but for online purposes, I would release your EP like Thursday night, midnight to Friday, and then have a show that Friday, if you can. Otherwise, have the show on Saturday, but still release the EP on Friday, digitally at least. But you're gonna wanna, this is where you're gonna wanna submit everything. Like when you get the masters back from your producer and everything sounds awesome, you're gonna wanna submit it to something called TuneCore. I know there's other ways to do it. There's like CD Baby and stuff like that. Just TuneCore, it's what I use. It's what a lot of my, I guess, acquaintances use, but it's, at least before labels and stuff like that come into play. But as an independent artist, definitely TuneCore is super easy to use. You just make an account and then you pay for it. Like, you pay to have them put your stuff in iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and everything like that. And it's like the one-time fee for a year, but then you make all your sales and streams, like you make all that. Like, they don't take a cut of that. It's just that one-time fee. I don't really remember how much it is. I think for like an EP, it's like, I think it's like $40 or $50 or something. That might be high, that might be low. I'm not sure. I haven't done it in a while. But you're gonna want to submit that so that it's gonna be digitally released on the day that you plan it to. Now, before you get to playing your EP release show, you're gonna want to have physical copies. If things are going really, really freaking well, go like upwards of like 100 to 150 CDs, but if you can, I'd just do like 50 or something. Yeah, I'd go around 50, but like I said, if things are going really well, then order more, but 50, probably around that mark. You're going to want to get those ordered, and this is where you'd also want to order more shirts. At this point, you could order, depending on the season, I suppose, but you could do a hoodie or a tank top or like snapbacks or a beanie. You're definitely going to want something that's like something different than just a t-shirt, because your last 2 shows you sold t-shirts. So I would actually recommend, I'm just going to put this as a subcategory, TuneCore, physical albums, one shirts plus hoodie, tank, hat of some sort. Yeah, I would definitely get like one other new shirt. I guess it really depends though, because if you still have stock over from your other shows, don't worry about the t-shirt, just focus on the hoodie, tank, hat, whatever. But if you're running low again on quantities and stuff, definitely get another shirt as well. And this entire time too, like when you announce the band and everything like that and you get your first shirt in, you know, play that first show, see how much you sell, and then make an online store. Like we use Big Cartel. There's Store Envy. There's, you know, I think Bandcamp lets you use merch and stuff like that too. But you know, find an online store to set up, and then start selling that stuff and shipping it out to, you know, fans that want to buy it from across the country. I suppose world, but shipping costs are just like really insane. So that's that. And then step 19 is play the EP release show. So this is going to be the big day, because your EP is going to be out and people are going to be able to listen to it in full. You've been waiting on it for so long. It's going to be so cool. Like this is the day that you're working towards. All of these steps are working towards releasing your EP. Because if you do it in the right order and the right spacing between things, like you could have a pretty good first week sales. And when you get to a point of reaching out to a manager or a booking agent, label or whatever, if you have a good amount of sales, that's gonna give you some leverage. So that's why, like, bands that just go, here's a song, here's the EP, all in like a 2-month time span. Like, there was no hype. There was, you know, it wasn't marketed really well. So yeah, you're gonna want to release that, obviously, and just promote it as much as you can. You don't want to just post too much about it all day long. For like 5 days in a row, your entire first week. You want to keep your content, you know, varying. Like, you want to post about this, you want to post about that kind of thing. You want to post about merch maybe like once a week or something. You don't want to post about merch and your album every single day. You know, let the band have a personality. But yeah, so then the final step, step 20. Final step 20 is just, you know, man, I don't even know. I didn't even make 20 steps. Gotcha, there's only 19. No, I'm just kidding. Step 20 is just put all this stuff together, have fun, market your EP properly, and write more music. Because, yeah, you just came out with an EP, but, you know, if it does well and you pitch it to a label or whoever, and you're gonna start writing an album, the sooner that you have that music just ready, that's gonna be amazing. But yeah, guys, that's kind of the 20 steps. I am going to include like a downloadable like PDF or some sort of file that has all this written out with subcategories that go more in depth. You know, I just made this video because I want to start helping bands, man. Like, I wish there was more stuff out there. I'm sure there actually probably was. I just wasn't finding it right. So, you know, hopefully this video found you well and you found some value in it, and you can really you can use this template, rearrange it to how you see fit. But, you know, I think you guys can really launch your band in the proper way, to where, you know, like I said, this isn't going to guarantee success or anything like that, but it's definitely like a template to try and follow, to where you're not going to be that band that took 2 years to get 1,000 likes or something like that. You're not going to be like a local band, because if you really want to take it seriously with this technique, especially if you do like strategic advertising and marketing stuff like that, and your content, like I said, your graphic design, your cover photos, profile pictures, like EP out now or EP coming out, you know, on whatever day it is. Like, if the photos and the edits and everything that you're posting are good and attractive looking, like you're organically gonna start growing your pages and stuff like that, to where, you know, by this point I feel you could definitely have 1,000 likes by the time your EP comes out. So I guess just kind of a quick recap. You know, you don't want to announce your band right away. You want to get the foundation built, but when it comes time to releasing things, I would release a song, and then a month before your show, so you're gonna release a song a month later, play a show, and then after that is when you're gonna release your second song. So about 2 months or a month and a half after the show, you're gonna want to release your next song, and then 2 weeks after that is when your next show is. And then, so from releasing your first song, it'll be like, what is that, a month, 2, so it'd be like single 1, 2 months later, single 2, and then 3 months later, EP release. That's what it is. I'll write that down for you. So, single 1, single 2, EP release. I'd say this is about 2 months, and this is going to be like 3 months. And obviously, you know, it just really depends on your current situation, because for certain types of music, you should be pumping things out a lot quicker. But you know, at least for like hardcore, post-hardcore, metalcore, all of that kind of core stuff, I feel like that's a good thing, because again, this is all about just a beginning band that really doesn't really know what they're doing. That's probably like a good timeline to start releasing things. If you've already been in a band, and you know, you could use some of this stuff for your next EP. You've already had an EP, you've been doing stuff or whatever, but things aren't really like kind of taking off. Apply some of this stuff for your next EP, for the cycling. And you know, especially if you do advertising, you could even stretch this out to 3 months and this out to 5 months, because it really depends. Because if you know, if you want to get out there, advertising is a really good way to do that. And Facebook advertising is insane. Like they've updated that to a point where it's so effective at this point. You just have to do some research and learn how to use Facebook advertising to really get your videos in front of people that like your music. Because that's the thing, by the time all this comes out, like, there are going to be people out there that would love your EP, but if you're not posting right, you're not, you know, going on a right timeline here, and things are just off, and you're not posting enough or whatever, like, those people aren't going to buy your EP, even though they love it, but they just have no idea that it's even a thing. Or they do know you're a thing, but because you don't really take yourself seriously online, they're not really taking you seriously. So yeah, guys, that's my 20 steps for starting a band. I'm no like music guru or anything like that. I'm just a guy that's in a band that has done some cool stuff. We definitely have a long way to go. We are nowhere near where we plan to be, but you know, we're definitely on our journey, and this was just to try and help you guys start your journey. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for your time. If you want to contact me with any specific questions or go over some one-on-one specifics on how I can directly help your band, just fill out that contact form and let's get in touch through email. Thank you guys so much.